Can you guess where I got this t-shirt from? Well, I did make it myself, and it's actually way much easier than it sounds. Plus, it's a very practical thing to make not only for yourself but also for friends and family. And it could be a good gift idea for Christmas and maybe Valentine's Day, so I hope that this tutorial will be very useful for you. Hello amazing people! Today I am going to show you how to make this t-shirt. Even though it looks like from a store, it is a beginner friendly project and it's very quick to make. Also, you won't need any fancy equipment. This t-shirt is designed for men's sizes, however it looks good on women too. My brother here is wearing size M and I am wearing size 2XS. I will be using our Teo t-shirt pattern, which you can find in our online or Etsy store. The links are below in the description. I usually print out with my regular printer and then glue the paper pages together. But this pattern also comes in A0 format, which you can print at the copy shop. So here are all 5 pattern pieces. You will need a jersey material that has at least a bit of stretch. A matching thread, of course. I will mostly use a serger, but no worries if you don't have it. There are some sewing machine stitches you can use instead. Check out our description and there is a link to a short video tutorial how to substitute serger with the sewing machine. And now let's start by cutting out all the details. As you can see, this fabric has a bandana pattern and I was actually trying to at least somewhat match the front and back panels. I was also trying to match the sleeve, that's why I am cutting it at such a random place. If you are also planning to buy a fabric with the pattern and you want the details to match nicely, remember that you will need to buy more of the fabric than recommended. Don't forget to cut the notches. Simply snip in the fabric 3 to 4 millimeters. This will really help to speed up the process of matching the details later when you will be sewing. I am going to start with the neckband. Fold it on half and stitch the shortest side seam. I will be using a sewing machine, but you can also use a serger for the seam, it doesn't matter that much. Now simply press the seam. Take the neckband and fold it on half like this. Press around the folded edge. After that, lay t-shirt's back panel with the front panel right sides facing, and then stitch both shoulder seams. Press both shoulder seams towards the back panel. Take the neckband and lay its right side together with the t-shirt's right side. Match the neckband's side seam with the t-shirt's shoulder seam. Pin the neckband around and slightly stretch it. The neckband is shorter than the actual neckline because in this way it will lay on your body way much nicer. Otherwise, if it would be the same length as the neckline, it would be standing up as it would be like a mock neck. Stitch around the neckline. If you pinned and you are also using a serger, please be very careful not to let the pins go under the serger's knife. I will use a needle with a big eye to hide the serger's threads inside the seam. In this way, I will be sure that the threads will not come out even after washing and it will look very nice and neat. As you can see, the seam we just made is living a life of its own. That's why I recommend to top stitch with a sewing machine. Work from the right side and top stitch around 3 mm apart from the seam we just made. When sewing, it's very important to also catch the seam allowance that is under. I have seen quite a few times that fast fashion brands haven't top stitched the neckline, and the most annoying part is that after washing you have to press really carefully, otherwise it will look like a total mess. And here you can see when it's top stitched, it's very nicely secured in place. And now press around the neckline. If it's looking wavy, then use steam and press it until you get it flat. Let's move on to the sleeves. I will show you a trick how to make a cover stitch looking hem without a cover stitch machine. Take one of the strips you cut out previously and fold it on half so the right side is towards outside. And now match the raw edges with the sleeves hem. If you want to pin, you can do it, but I will actually skip it and stitch right away. To speed things up, you can actually do it as one continuous seam for both sleeves. Simply cut off the unused part of the strip. The same way as with the neckband, let's top stitch 3 mm apart from the seam we just made. I am also top stitching both sleeves together. It is a habit I have because I used to make t-shirts in large amounts and this trick was seriously saving my time. And now press both sleeve hems. I know it is tempting to skip this step, but I can speak from my experience that later it will be very much harder to press very nicely these hems. Now take the sleeve and find the notch. Match this notch with the notch at the t-shirt's front panel. And then also match the notch at the sleeve's middle with the t-shirt shoulder notch. And just in case if you haven't noticed, it is important that sleeve's right side is facing the t-shirt's right side. And then stitch together the sleeve with the front and back panels. Repeat this step with the other sleeve as well. Lay the t-shirt so the right sides are facing and stitch the right side seam. For the hem, let's use the same method as for the sleeves. Take the other strip you have cut out, fold it on half and match the raw edges with the t-shirt's hem. Stitch all along the t-shirt's hem. Now top stitch 3 mm apart from the seam we just made. Another alternative would be to get a double needle for the sewing machine. But from my personal experience, I couldn't find the proper settings on my sewing machine and it just wasn't looking good. I can promise that by this method it will be really hard from a distance to tell a difference with a cover stitch. We are almost finished. Lay the t-shirt with the right sides facing and stitch together the other side seam. And now one more time, I will be using a needle with a big eye to hide the serger threads. Other option would be to trim off the serger threads and then fold the seam towards one side and use a sewing machine's backstitch to stitch it down on the t-shirt. If you are wondering why you cannot simply cut off the serger thread, and leave it as it is. My explanation is that the serger seam, it's quite different than the regular sewing machine seam, and it tears really easily if you haven't secured the ends of it. As the last step, press properly the hem, the side seams, and you have finished. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more sewing and knitting tutorials. Bye!